Hey, Doc Testa here, Chief Health and Wellness Officer for Pine Pollen Superfoods and Train for Longevity. In today's video, I want to talk about 5 common, unfortunately way too common, vitamin and mineral deficiencies. Now, if you like health and wellness tips like this, I do these weekly. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel below. We'll send you all the info. But in the meantime, let's talk about these things. How can we possibly be in 2020 and have deficiencies? It's more common than we think, actually. And so there's a couple easy ways this happens. Alcohol consumption causes depletion of certain vitamins and minerals, especially over a consistent time period, right? Caffeine inhibits enzymes that make certain chemical reactions occur and alter the function of things. We just don't, frankly, eat enough nutrient-dense food to get some of the nutrients that we need, especially if you have a special diet like vegan or vegetarian. Then there's also drugs, right? Birth control can cause deficiencies in certain vitamins and minerals, while nonsteroidal anti-inflammatories can inhibit the absorption of things through creating a leaky gut or a gut-related issue. So there's many common ways in today's world that our health is adversely affected by our ability to either digest or absorb or find adequate nutrition where we get these common deficiencies. So number one, vitamin D. Now, I've been on a vitamin D kick for over 10 years, maybe 12 years, when I first learned that it might be beneficial for seasonal affective disorder and for musculoskeletal pain. This was when I was in the height of my practice. And so I tested about 100 people one year, and I'm not kidding you when I say 2 had levels that were as optimal as I would like. The rest were suboptimal. And so it's important to get this tested. It's a fat-soluble vitamin, but about 50% of Americans are deficient or insufficient in this. Now, vitamin D is important in many ways, such as, helping musculoskeletal pain, helping seasonal affective disorder, but really, it also is involved in the functioning of about 5% of our genome. Now, 5% may not sound like a lot, but depending on what genes are being affected, this could have a huge ripple effect in how you express your phenotype or the expression of your genes. So vitamin D is important. You can get it in like things like mushrooms or sardines. Now, you would think you could get it from the sun, but many of us cover ourselves up with sunscreen or clothing, and we don't get enough vitamin D conversion from UV from the sun, and so we can actually become deficient. Also, if you're overweight, which now 42% of Americans are obese, not just overweight, it can affect the metabolism of vitamin D, and you will likely be low. And then and also then if you have dark skin, that was the other thing. If you have dark skin, you're protected from the sun by having more melanin, but you also don't convert vitamin D very well in your body from UV. So some things there about vitamin D. Number 2 important one for me is magnesium. Magnesium, another 50% of Americans are deficient in this mineral. This thing is involved in about 300 or 400 metabolic processes, from inflammation to muscle relaxation to your heart contraction. It's just so important. Cramps, restless legs, craving for certain foods, particularly chocolates, fatigue. If you're fatigued, if you have chronic fatigue syndrome, if you have fibromyalgia, you might, along with D, have some magnesium insufficiencies. So again, it's a water soluble, so you can pee this out. Caffeine, alcohol, things like that, and not eating enough of it, right? You can find this stuff in green leafy vegetables, whole grains, animal products like this, nuts, seeds. So plus you're eating these things at a regular basis. Pumpkin seeds are really high in them. So I recommend this in the evenings, right before bed, or it generally will help people relax and calm down. Another huge one, Omega-3 fatty acids, this is so big. It's an essential fatty acid. Most people in America are eating omega-6 seed and plant oils. Not so good. Not a good thing. Those are pro-inflammatory, and they parallel an increase in all things inflammatory related and chronic diseases. So omega-3 fatty acids, you can get these in flax and fish oil. Now, flax, I'm not a fan of in converting over to an omega-3 very well, because we need certain minerals like magnesium and zinc, and to not be drinking a lot of coffee to have the enzyme delta-6 desaturase actually work. So I think it's just better to start with fish oils. And you know, you can get these measured as well with a finger stick and find out your EPA levels and against arachidonic acid, which is an inflammatory fatty acid, and see just how inflamed you are and see where you fall on the spectrum of healthy EFAs. And most people, again, that I've done this with, not so good, all right? You could have achy joints, dry skin, mental sluggishness, depression, you know, autoimmune type related things. So again, guess where you get this stuff? Fish or fish oil supplements. If you're going to do fish oil supplements, get the triglyceride form, not the ethyl ester form. You have to ask, because most concentrated fish oils are in the ethyl ester form, which is not the natural state of the fish oil. The natural state of the fish oil we can use is the triglyceride form. So if you're going to do that, I would really recommend a good fish oil. And if you eat a lot of fish, you've got to be careful though and take breaks there, because I've seen people get mercury poisoning thinking they were doing themselves a lot of good by eating a lot of fish. So something to keep in mind. Another really important one as far as I'm concerned here is iron. I just had a mom friend of mine reach out for her formerly vegan daughter who is pregnant now, and guess what? Iron deficient. You get iron in animal products, animal protein, organ meat, buffalo. You can get it in red meat. You can also get it in, you know, spinach and blackstrap molasses. You can cook in an iron skillet and get iron. But sometimes you just need some animal protein to get the adequate amounts of diet. And I know this might not make vegans or vegetarians happy to hear this, but these animal products, including shellfish, are some of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet, and much more so than plants. Now, you got to find your own sweet spot, because I've taken care of patients for over 30 years. I've seen some super healthy vegans and vegetarians and some super sick ones. And I've seen people doing a carnivore diet for the last several years. As much as I wanted to reject that, they're healthy. And so I think there's more than one way to eat. And as a healthcare provider, I have to keep an open mind on that. So iron, you can, again, those sources or supplement. You can take too much of it, and in men especially, it can build up. You get hemochromatosis and other buildups of iron, which are no good. And even in post-menopausal women, iron can build up because they're not losing blood anymore, and can cause problems there as well. So it's something to have measured during your physical exam. I don't even ask for ferritin, the stored form of iron, to be measured. Lastly, vitamin K. I think vitamin K and vitamin D go together really, really well. Vitamin K is also a fat-soluble vitamin. It's involved in blood clotting and is helpful. It can be made by probiotics in our gut, but most people don't have a healthy gut microbiome. So you can get vitamin K in eating green leafy vegetables. You can, of course, you can supplement with different kinds of it. There's K1 found in spinach, cabbage, leafy greens, eggs. K2 found in grass-fed animal products, fermented foods, certain cheeses such as brie. So you've got to kind of find a way of getting both of those forms into your diet and your body. There is some conversation that this can help with not allowing plaque to build up in arteries, and I think, you know, that's something to look into, maybe find out if there's a test you can get and measure your vitamin K levels, because remember, the leading cause of death in America is cardiovascular disease still, and we want to control inflammation with fish oils and things like this, healthy diet. We want to also make sure we get the micronutrients and vitamins in that could be a potential benefit, like vitamin K. So I hope this video helps break down some of these things. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you want to share it with someone, I bet you they'll thank you for it. And I will see you. Oh, one last thing. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel below. We need you. We love you. I love sharing this information. I want to create the healthiest planet we can while I'm here. So there you have it. We'll see you in the next video.